Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back with another video on my channel Saumya's Bookstation. Hit that subscribe button for all the bookish love that I spread on this channel if you are a book lover, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that every time I post a video you get notified. In today's video, I'll be recommending 10 fantastic books for beginners or for people who want to begin reading. These books are super fun to read and they are super easy as well. Actually, I had made a books for beginners video back in December 2016, and since then I did not make any other one of these videos, so I thought why not make one now, because I have some really good recommendations. So if you want to check out my previous books for beginners video, the link for that will be in the description box. Also, sometime back in 2018 itself, I made a classics for beginners video as well. You can check that one out as well if you want to read some easy classics. The link for that also will be in the description box. Meanwhile, let's get started with this video where I recommend 10 amazing books for beginners. The first book is Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. So this is a retelling of Norse myths by Neil Gaiman. In this book, we get to read a collection of stories about Asgard, which is the home of gods. We get to read about giants and dwarfs and different gods like Loki and Thor and other gods as well. So the reason that I'm recommending this book is because it's super easy to read, and if you are just starting out, this book is a very good choice because it's very simple and the stories in this book are so fascinating, and the way Neil Gaiman has given his own spin to the stories makes this book even more special and interesting to read. This is the kind of book that when you pick it up, it sucks you into its world of stories and you end up enjoying it so much. The next book is Calling Sehmat by Harinder Sikka. So this is a spy thriller, and the story in this book is actually based on true events. And for those of you who do not know, this is the very book on which the movie Razi starring Alia Bhatt has been made. So this is the story of a young Kashmiri girl who is sent across the border to Pakistan. She's married into a high-ranking Pakistani family to the son of a Pakistani general in the year 1971, before the imminent war of India and Pakistan. So she's sent across as a spy on an extremely dangerous mission by RAW. So this story is basically her journey through this very dangerous time that she spends across the border. The book is very to the point, it's fast-paced, and the language of this book is very, very easy to follow. Overall, this book gives the reader a very good experience in the sense that it has all the elements of a good book and it keeps you on the edge of your seat because of the kind of story this is. The next book is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. So this is a story of a 13-year-old Connor whose mother is undergoing chemotherapy because she's afflicted by terminal cancer, and this story is taking place in England. So Connor doesn't have a very good life, obviously, because his mother is seriously ill, and the cloud of the knowledge that he might lose his mother anytime keeps hanging over him. So it's a very gloomy and a very sad kind of a story, but at the same time the story is extremely gripping, and the way it explores complicated human emotions makes it stand apart, and it is a book that makes you very emotional because of the subject. So what happens is that at a specific time, a monster comes to meet Connor, and this monster comes to meet Connor because he wants Connor to tell the truth. A truth that Connor is not willing to admit. So the theme of the story is that it explores the complicated human emotions that a lot of times human beings are not ready to admit, but those emotions are there all the same. And all this has been done in this book very beautifully, and it makes you terribly sad. And needless to say, the language of this book is extremely easy to follow, and this is a very impactful story. The next book is Wild Embers by Nikita Gill. So this is a collection of poems, and I recommend this book to everybody who likes to read poetry. The poems are really simple, and especially if you are a girl who has gone through failure, heartbreak, depression, anxiety, then you should definitely go for this book because it gives you hope. It makes you feel so happy, and the kind of relatability that one is able to form with this book is just magical, and you should not miss this book at all. The next book is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. So this is the story of a 59-year-old man named Ove. Now Ove is a very grumpy old man, and also he has some really rigid principles, and he is not exactly happy with the modern world, and he does not keep himself from criticizing it. So as we get to read the story, we realize that Ove might be grumpy on the surface, but he is an amazing human being, and as we read more and more of the story, Ove's character becomes more and more endearing. The reader's heart reaches out to this 59-year-old man. overall this book warms your heart, and if you are having a bad day, this book has the ability and the power to bring a smile to your face. It's such a delightful read. It is like a ray of sunshine on a gloomy day, literally. As we get to know about Oak's story more and more, we have moments in this book where we smile, we have moments where we cry. The next book is Cootie Days by R.K. Narayan. So this is a collection of short stories that are taking place in the fictional town of Malgudi. Now what makes this book special is that even though the stories are seemingly commonplace and mundane, the way R.K. Narayan has brought the characters and the stories to life is simply magical, and the characters in this book are common people, so you are able to relate to these characters at some or the other level. And also there are some very clever observations that R.K. Narayan has made. In this book, these observations are subtle, but they are there all the same. Another thing worth mentioning is that the kind of precision with which the lives of common people have been captured in these stories is what makes this book an excellent read. The next book is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. So this is the story of a 15-year-old Charlie, and we get to read Charlie's story through his letters to an unknown friend. And in these letters, he talks about his high school life, he talks about his sister, his senior friends, and basically people around him and what's happening around him. So Charlie is a very perceptive and an observant person, so we get to read about things from his perspective in this book. So Charlie is a wallflower himself, and for those of you who do not know, a wallflower is a person who's socially awkward and shy and an introvert. So if you are somebody with an introverted personality, you will relate to his character like I did. So the main message and the theme of the story is that we should be there for the people we love. We should look out for them. We should talk to the people we love, because even if somebody is not saying anything, does not mean that their life is perfect. Everybody has issues and traumas to deal with. So be sure to be there for them, to help them vent out their feelings and just help them. Just be emotionally there for the people you love. That is the message that this book very delicately and very gently pushes forward, and that makes this a very beautiful read. The next book is Baaz by Anuja Chauhan. So the story in this book is set in 1971 when the war broke out between Pakistan and Bangladesh, and India got embroiled in that war. So the story is set around the lives of Indian Air Force officer, and one of them in particular whose name is Ishan. People call him Baaz as well. Now Ishan is an extremely charming and a brave person, and also in the story we get to read about his friends. And there is another character who is very impactful in the story. Her name is Tehmeena Daddy Said. Now on one hand, Ishan revels in the fact that he's fighting for his nation. Tehmeena on the other hand is the harbinger of peace, and despite their opposing views, they're extremely attracted to each other. So we get to read a story with the war taking place in the backdrop about two people with extremely irresistible personality who are attracted to each other. This story has lots of laughter, friendship, love, and a great deal of tears as well. This book is a perfect package for anybody who's looking for an entertaining read that makes a place in your heart as well. The next book is Five Little Pigs by Agatha Christie. So in this book, a young girl named Carla approaches Hercule Poirot regarding a murder that took place 16 years ago. So 16 years ago, Carla's mother Caroline was convicted of murdering her husband, and even though Caroline had pleaded innocent, she never really fought to prove her innocence, and she was sent to the prison. So Carla somehow believed that her mother was innocent, and she wants Poirot to find out the actual truth. That is, if the actual truth is different from what was proven. So Poirot has to literally go back in time to shed lights on the events from so long back. He has to contact people who were present during that time, and we get to read about how Hercule Poirot unravels the mystery in his own trademark style. That is so fascinating to read for us as readers. I think this is a book that deserves its fair share of recognition. It doesn't get talked about as much as other books by Agatha Christie, but it really is a great book. And if you're starting out as a new reader, this is a book that can definitely spike up your interest in reading. The next book is Jaya by Devdutt Pattanaik. This is an illustrated retelling of the Mahabharata. So this book is brimming with information, knowledge, and it is so comprehensive. It has covered so many areas. Even though Mahabharata as an epic is so prevalent in our country, there are so many aspects of this epic that we do not know, and this book has covered those aspects in the most interesting and most intriguing of the ways. This book is definitely a page turner. You are not able to put it down. Also, Devdutt Pattanaik has provided the analysis of the things that took place, and you are not able to help yourself but agree with him most of the times. He has brought out information from different retellings, and on the whole that makes this book a very worthwhile read. And The language is very easy to follow, and the kind of interest level that this book builds in you as a reader is just incredible. So these are the 10 books that you should definitely go for if you are confused as to which book you should start as a beginner reader, because these books are definitely going to make you want to read more and more because they're so amazing. So that was it for my today's video. I hope you found it useful. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye.